Hello, it's March the 21st, 2019. I haven't gotten a video out in a while, but I thought I'd get one out today. I've been following the red flag gun law, and I ran across the video by Marjorie Taylor Greene this morning, and it just says everything. She's very articulate. She's headed to Washington, but we need to start making calls to the Senate. I've got that information in the description box. I was going to edit her video down and play it for you, but I'm just going to play it in full here. For those of you who have seen it on my Facebook page, please like and share this video. You don't necessarily have to watch it, just like it and share it if you've already seen it. For those of you who are not familiar with what's going on with the red flag gun laws, we're about to be snookered. And that's putting it mildly, okay? I'm trying to use nice words because people don't like it when I swear. Anyway, take a look at this and please take some action. Call your senators. Call the people listed in this video especially, but call all of your senators if you can. Here goes.
Hey everybody, this is Marjorie Greene, and I'm doing this live video today, driving back to where I live. I'm going to talk to you guys about something really serious. I got to cover this issue, and this is pretty much the only time I had today to cover it, so it's happening while I'm driving my car. So I'm gonna watch the road real close here and talk to you guys a little bit. And I wanna explain to you, here's what we have going on. Okay, there's something really big happening, and it's kind of like an all hands on deck situation. And there's a big attack coming on our Second Amendment. Now, here's the issue. You haven't heard anything about this in the mainstream media, and I'll tell you why. It's because we are being overwhelmed with hearing about a shooter over in New Zealand who murdered 50 people at 2 different mosques and injured 50 or more in a mass shooting. Now, here's the situation, okay? Next week on Tuesday the 26th, we have there's going to be an important hearing happening in the Senate, and it's at 10 a.m. and it's going to be heard. The hearing is going to happen through the Senate Judiciary Committee, which is led by Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, who has done a great job supporting President Trump and supporting Americans on certain issues, and we've been really thankful for that. But let me tell you something, he is turning around and about to screw us big time with these red flag laws. So that's what I'm talking to you guys about today, okay? And I'm going to explain it, and it's really important. This is a really, really important issue, and I just can't even believe this is where we are in America. So let's talk about what is a red flag law. Okay, now red flag law, what that means is if you're a gun owner, that means that anybody, your neighbor, your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-husband, friend, co-worker, enemy, political enemy, somebody that doesn't like you, somebody that's mad at you, whatever, can go to the police and say to the police that, hey, listen up. I think that Marjorie Greene, she's a gun owner, she owns guns, she is I think she's mentally unstable, and I think that she may harm herself or others. And so they can go and say that, and then guess what happens? Then there will be a private hearing, a court hearing, without me knowing about it. I'm not told about it at all. There'll be a hearing, and they will decide whether to take away my guns. Now, here's what's bad. There's no due process, okay? You cannot go in and defend yourself and say, this person that's saying this stuff about me is crazy. They're an enemy of mine. They're trying to hurt me. I am of sound mind and body. I'm a legal gun owner. I would never hurt myself. I would never hurt anyone else with my guns. You're not allowed, you're not able, listen, you're not able to go in and do that, and I'll tell you why. You don't know it's happening, okay? With a red flag gun law, these are gun confiscation laws. Red flag laws are designed so you do not know it's happening. So you can't go in to tell about this, okay? And it's crazy. So you can't go in and defend yourself. And then they issue a court order. They decide based on the witness's testimony, the person that is turning you in and saying that you're a danger to yourself or you're a danger to others, based on their testimony and evidence they provide, they will issue a court order and they can come and confiscate your guns. And so what that means is they will show up at your house with a court order. The police will show up, police and SWAT team will show up at your house and demand that you hand over all your guns, okay? Now here's what happened in Maryland. That happened recently in Maryland, where red flag laws are in place. There was a man whose sister was mad at him. She was angry at him. She went and filed this report, and they issued a court order. The SWAT team, the police and the SWAT team showed up at this man's house. Now this is a man, he's a father, he has children, he was a veteran. They showed up at his house, you guys, and he defended himself and he defended his, Second Amendment rights and refused to hand over his guns, and he's dead. That man is dead. He was shot dead, okay? The police, they had to come through with their order, and I'm not going to bash the police. You're not going to hear me do that. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm a big supporter of our law enforcement. I'm a big supporter of our police. But what this situation is these red flag laws put not only this man and this veteran and father as a gun owner, it put him in a bad place, and it also put the police in a bad place. So these are dangerous laws for our law enforcement also. I'm very against it for them as well. Now, here's the issue. Red flag laws are unfair, and they wrap it up. Here's how they wrap it up. They wrap it up to sell you on it for on a mental health issue, okay? So here's how they sell it. They say, we got to prevent mass shootings. We have to prevent suicide. We're trying to prevent gun violence. This is how they wrap it up. And they sell it in a mental health package. And they're saying that, listen, if with red flag laws, people can turn mentally unstable, dangerous people in. Okay, well, that sounds really pretty, and it sounds really great language, and everyone is all fired up and totally supportive of, we don't want anybody to die of gun violence, and we don't want mass shootings. No, we do not. And yeah, we agree with all that. Like, we totally agree with that. But here's what we don't agree with. We don't agree with this attack on our Second Amendment right, and we don't agree with the fact that you can, by law, our guns can be taken away based on someone else's testimony, and we don't get to defend ourselves, and we have not violated any laws. So it's basically like being found guilty of a crime that you haven't committed, and your guns can be taken away. Now, so there's also slippery language. There's slippery language in these laws that pertain to mental health that could also affect veterans. And the reason why I say it can affect veterans is because when they are changing the language involving mental health, and they introduce any language into a law where it could implicate people that have a diagnosis on record for PTSD, I want you to think about that. If you put anything into law where it can affect someone that may have a diagnosis on record, has had to seek mental health experts, had to seek doctors, had to go to therapy for PTSD, and you have that language in there, listen, if you have that language in there where those specific people maybe need to have their guns confiscated, they shouldn't own guns, who are you affecting? Think about it. That is a serious attack on many veteran gun owners in this nation. That is a massive attack on their right to bear arms. And I'm very concerned about that. I am seriously concerned about that. Now, let me tell you why these red flag laws, this hearing in the Senate, I want to explain something to you. You think, oh, okay, well, it's going in the Senate. Listen, we're okay. The Senate is Republican controlled. We're not worried about this. This bill, it passed through the House. It flew through there because it's controlled by the Democrats, and the Democrats want to take our guns away. And if you're sitting here thinking, I don't need to take this serious because it's going through the Senate and the Senate's not going to pass it, I'm going to tell you, guess what? You got another thing coming, because Chuck Schumer, the minority leader in the Senate, has already gathered up. He's got 48 votes. And guess what? There are three Republicans that are about to hand over a 51 vote majority. A 51 vote majority. Three Republicans. Guess who they are? I'm going to tell you right now. We got Susan Collins. No surprise there, right? We got Marco Rubio from Florida. Marco Rubio, remember him? Remember Marco Rubio, presidential candidate in the Republican primary in 2015? Marco Rubio is going to vote yes on red flag laws. Susan Collins, she's a yes. And then guess who else is a yes? I'm going to tell you who else is a yes. The head of the Judiciary Committee that is going to be hosting the hearing on the red flag laws, and that is Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator Lindsey Graham is going to more than likely be a yes. And guess what that means? That is a 51 vote majority. That's a 51 vote majority in the Senate. And guess what, guys? They put that to vote, and you got red flag confiscation laws into effect, and reducing our Second Amendment rights, taking away everyone's ability. That means when states put this into law, you're not able to defend yourself when someone wants to attack you and take your guns away. So this is a huge attack on our Second Amendment. And everyone knows, oh my gosh, the Second Amendment is the greatest freedom that we have. This is what separates us from all the other countries in the world. This is what the Second Amendment, the fact that Americans have the right to bear arms, and that we're pretty much wide open on most of the types of guns that we can own, most of the types of, the amount of ammo we can own, and a lot of states, some states have totally shut that down. But that puts a huge stop to many, many things. And globalism and the New World Order is one of them. So we've got a big problem. So I'm doing something about it. I want to tell you guys, here's what's happening. When I started researching this a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. And then I started paying closer attention and realizing this is about to pass. This is about to pass. And then we go and we have some crazy, deranged person in New Zealand goes and shoots up a mosque, and then he leaves a 70-page manifesto. And I want you all to know, and I know so many of you are so smart, so many of you are educated, and you really dig into the news. You don't just believe the fluff that comes at us on the mainstream media. And if you know anything about his manifesto, you know what his manifesto said. It was a whole outpouring, a complete outpouring of, and his whole goal, his stated goal, 3 separate times of that manifesto, was to cause the left in the United States to confiscate the guns and end the Second Amendment right of Americans. So this man, this Australian man, did a mass killing, and he said his chosen weapon was guns. His chosen weapon was firearms, so that he could invoke the left in the United States to take away our Second Amendment right here in America. So process that. Now, what did that do? What did this mass shooting do? What did you see happen? What did you see? You saw everything. Okay, so what do we have? We have the left attacking Donald Trump and blaming him for the shooting somehow, which is insanity. We've got AOC, you know, Miss Crazy Woman from New York that the media loves, media darling AOC, and they sit there and come out and say, she comes out and says that she blames the NRA and that thoughts and prayers are meaningless and people aren't protected anywhere. This happened over in New Zealand, everybody. This was not in America. And then the truth is, what we have is we have all of these Congress people that are elected to supposedly serve us, to supposedly serve the American people. Well, you know who they serve? They serve their donors, and they serve the lobbyists that lobby them. And let me explain something to you. Lindsey Graham is on record for receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars from Michael Bloomberg. Now, I want you to take that into consideration of who New York City Michael Bloomberg is. He is very anti-gun, he is anti-Second Amendment, and he's all about confiscating our weapons. So I want you guys to take that into consideration, that Lindsey Graham, who is the head of the Judiciary Committee that is holding the hearing on these red flag laws on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, I want you to take that into consideration, the money and the source it's coming from that's going into his pocket. And whose voice should matter? Our voice. Our voice should matter. That's whose voice should matter. Not the donor, not the big donor that can line his pockets with a whole bunch of money, not some lobbyist. No, not some lobbyist, but it should be our voices. And the majority of gun owners in this country do not want red flag laws, do not want gun confiscation laws. We do not want strict background checks. We want to be able to have private gun sales. And so this is what we're up against, you guys. This is what we're up against. If they vote to pass this on Tuesday for the second time in just a matter of weeks, you will be seeing the Republicans allowing the Democrats to basically win. The first one, it was on Trump's national emergency, who thank God he vetoed it, because that's all about the American people. The national emergency at the border is for the American people. But I want you to understand, on Tuesday, if they vote these red flag laws into law, they're going to be siding with the Democrats again. The Republicans are spineless. Republican senators like Marco Rubio, Susan Collins, and Lindsey Graham that allow these attacks on our Second Amendment are spineless. And so here's what we're doing. We've launched a plan, literally in the past 2 days, launched a plan. I called up some friends of mine and I said, we can't let this happen, you guys. And so here's where I'm really thankful. I have some great friends. Who love America just like I do and just like you do. And we're going, we've got plans for Monday and Tuesday. So I have Thaddeus Alexander's going with me, and I'm rallying up a whole bunch more people. I've got Suzanne Monk's going with me. I've got Richard Garcia. We've got Tyler from the Second Amendment. We're rallying up a whole group of people, and we're going to be going in there and taking a stand. And we're standing up for every single one of you, and we're standing up for ourselves, and we're standing up for our country and our freedoms. And we're going to go in there and tell them exactly what the American people want. And we're not anybody special. We aren't an organization. We are not, we aren't paid by anybody. My God, no. We're going in there on our own dime, which is, that's something to be said right there. But we're going to go in and we're going to address every single one of these senators. And here's what I'm doing. I have been calling these senators' offices, and I've been emailing these senators' offices, and I'm trying to get appointments to talk to them. So I'm trying nicely and asking for appointments to, hey, we're the American people. We want to talk to you about red flag laws. you need to take our meeting because we have something to say about it. We do not want red flag laws. So I'm working right now trying to get meetings, and I want to tell you, I don't have one meeting yet, not one scheduled. And if I don't get one scheduled, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go anyways, because truthfully, that's our right. We're the American taxpayers, damn it, and we pay the bills. And these people, they work for us. Do you understand me? They work for us. We are the ones, the people of the United States of America, ratified this Constitution, which created the federal government. And we're going to go in and remind them, here's your history lesson, boys and girls. We're the taxpayers. You're part of the federal government. You work for us. We pay the bills on this building. We pay your salaries. And you need to serve our interest, the American people. And our interest is our Second Amendment and our right to bear arms. And damn it, it shall not be infringed. Not one bit. Because here's the big deal. Here it is. Here's the truth. Every single time. The only way you stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. And that wins every single time. And these liars and this insanity that is telling the left, preaching from the left, who literally every single one of their presidential candidates are socialist and are running on a socialist platform. That's who they are. They aren't even Democrats anymore. They're socialist. They're socialists. They've totally turned on America and American values and our Constitution. They shouldn't even be, you know what? They shouldn't even be allowed to run for president because they're freaking socialist. We are in a socialist country. We're not. We're a republic. We're a republic. We're not a democracy. We are a republic. And we want our sovereignty of this nation defended. But here's the thing. These Democrats, they don't want that. They want to take away our guns. They want to take away any power that we have so that they can control us. And then you've got Republicans like Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, Marco Rubio from Florida, Susan Collins from, where's she from? Maine? I don't know. That woman needs to freaking go. But here we have these Republicans turning into Democrats. I'm not even going to call them rhinos. They're just basically turning into Democrats. And they're ready to hand over our Second Amendment rights. They're ready to hand over our freedom to own guns, to protect ourselves, protect our homes, protect our families, our children, our property, our businesses, and allow us to be set up to have our guns confiscated without due process. And that's wrong. That is wrong. So we're going. And I am so grateful that I have people that I can call up on the phone and go, I'm flying up to DC. I am spending money on an airline ticket. I'm going to spend money for me to be there. And the whole reason I'm going is to fight back and tell every single one of these senators, no, absolutely not. Do not pass these red flag gun laws. And I'm so grateful that I have people to call up and say, go with me. And they're 100% on board. I mean, 100% on board because they're great Americans and they're fighting back too. And so, Thaddeus, thank you. Susie and Monk, thank you. Richard Garcia, thank you. And everyone else that's coming with me. We're going to be a group of all kinds of people. Thaddeus is he's a veteran that served our country. Susie and Monk, she fights back and she's an activist in DC. American woman. We've got Richard Garcia, who's a Latino. Like, I'm a gun owner. I'm a business owner. I carry a gun with me. I have it right here next to me in my car. Thank God. God bless America. God bless America that I can do that, because I'm a woman, I'm a mom, and if anyone tries to attack me, I'm going to be able to defend myself. I'm a business owner. I need to be able to protect my property and my business and those inside my home. I'm so grateful for these things, you guys. It is absolutely the greatest blessing and gift that we have. I'm a proud member of Georgia Gun Owners. I'm a member of the NRA, but let me tell you something, that I'm pissed off at them. I am really pissed off at them because the NRA, is also possibly supporting this red flag legislation, which is insanity. Insanity. Can you imagine the NRA is possibly supporting this? It's all the mental health language, which is, which is a bunch of crap, a total bunch of crap. Here's the thing. Murder and mental health problems have been around since the beginning of time. If someone is going to commit suicide just because you take their guns away, that's not going to stop them. If someone is going to murder someone else just because you take your guns away, it's not going to stop them. Okay? People are going to find another way. And like, you want to listen to the New Zealand shooter? Let's talk about his words. His chosen method for killing people was firearms. What does that say, you guys? I'll tell you what it says. It says that he chose a method, meaning he could have chosen another method. So, red flag laws are not going to stop murder, mass murder, or suicide. It's not going to stop any of it. What it's going to do is it's going to very, very much completely punish law-abiding gun owners in this country and reduce our right to bear arms, which is written shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. But our government and the Democrats seem to have, they don't care about that. They have no respect whatsoever on what shall not be infringed means. Zero respect for that. No respect. And so that's what's happening. So that's what's happening next week. Now here's what's going to go on. I'm going to live stream this as much as I possibly can. I'm going to live stream everything on Monday into every single senator's office that we go into. Anybody that we speak to, I'm going to live stream it. So you're going to be able to watch it, share it, push back. I want you to call, listen, I want you to call these senators' offices, and I'm going to post a list a little bit later today. I want you to call every single one of them and tell them, do not vote for these red flag laws. Do not. I want you to flood Lindsey Graham's office, Marco Rubio's office, and Susan Collins' office with phone calls. I don't care if you're not in their state. That doesn't matter. It does not matter. They try to tell you that, like, if you're one of their constituents, that's what's important. That's a lie. These people may get elected from places like South Carolina or Florida or somewhere else, but guess what? When they get up there, they are making decisions for all of us. They are making decisions for the entire country. And so that affects our lives, and I don't give a flip if we're not their constituent. Call them. Call them. Lindsey Graham, Marco Rubio, Susan Collins. Call them up and tell them no to these red flag laws on Tuesday the 26th. Tuesday the 26th for the Judiciary Committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee. So tell them no. And then I'm going to be in there in person with my friends, and we're going to be telling them no too. Because we are the American people. Our voice matters. It matters. And we're going to make it heard. And this is how we're going to do it. So call them. Thank you so much. I see people calling them. Yes, I'm going to reach out to pro Second Amendment Congress people. I know Steve Scalise is one. I would love to meet with Jim Jordan. I would love to meet with Jody Heiss. I'm going to reach out to Louis Gohmert. I'm going to do my best to reach out to those people too and try to meet with them, but they're not in the Senate and they're not going to be in the Senate Judiciary hearing. So that's the issue. But we're going to go up there and fight back. And so that's the plan on Monday. It's happening at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We are going to be meeting together and then going in and making our rounds. And here's the thing. We're not going to go in like a bunch of hoodlums, bunch of rebel rousing, chanting. We're not doing it like the left. We don't behave like them, okay? We don't behave like the left. We're going to dress nice, like professionals. We are going to represent the American people in a really good way. We're going in with well-spoken, pointed messages. We aren't going in with megaphones. We aren't going to chant at people's doors. We aren't going to lay down on the floor and act like fools. We're going to go in like the professionals that we are and speak to these people intelligently with our facts and express to them our opinions, our views, and what we want as the American people. And so that's the plan, and that's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. It's legal. It's legal. They cannot stop us. They can't stop us, and they need to hear from us. And you know what? I guarantee you, like some of these Republicans, they want us to come in there and do this. They want our support. They want people like me and you to show up and say, listen, support me. Support my Second Amendment right, and I support you. That's what they want. That they do. And I'm really, really hoping that Lindsey Graham will change his mind. And I'm really hoping Marco Rubio would change his mind. And Susan Collins would change her mind. But I think she's clueless, so I don't really give much hope for her. But we have to do this. We have to fight back. That's what's happening. Now I'm going to tell you something else I'm doing this weekend. And this has to do with the Second Amendment. And this has to do with the abortion issue. And this has to do with all of this craziness that we're dealing with. But Saturday, from 11 to 2, I'm going to be in downtown Atlanta at the Capitol steps. And I'm going to be with a great group of Americans. And this came out of the February 23rd rally in D.C. And then there were all the state capitol rallies, and it was the roll call group. Well, I'm going with my Georgia group, and we're going to Atlanta to the Capitol steps, where we are going to be holding a rally and expressing our views and our right to bear arms and standing up for our rights and expressing our grievances. So I'm doing that. If you're local to where Georgia is, or you live anywhere around Georgia and you want to join some people, come to Atlanta Capitol to the steps from 11 to 2 and join us. I'm going to be there speaking. There's going to be other speakers, and we're standing up for our Second Amendment rights. I want to add something else. I want to add some more information on this. And this really seriously bothers me. This is the part that I can't even imagine it. So guess what? In this red flag law, here's what's going to happen. The states that pass the red flag laws will be rewarded by receiving more money from the federal government. That's what's happening in this. The states that don't pass the red flag laws will be punished by not receiving the money that the states that did pass the red flag laws get. So see, this is another part of the bill that is so frustrating to me, because they're going to use our federal dollars, our tax dollars, to basically bribe states to pass red flag gun laws, confiscation gun laws, and they're bribing them to do it with federal dollars and our tax dollars. Like, think about that. That's another part you can't even comprehend. It's just like Michael Bloomberg putting money in Lindsey Graham's pocket and pushing for these gun laws. That's the part I can't comprehend, and it makes me so angry. So, see, the whole thing it just screws the American people, doesn't it? It does. It screws the American people. And that's the way it's set up. And so, you know what? We can't allow this to happen. We can't allow this to happen. We can't. We've got so many things going on in our country, and it's got me so upset. We've got our border. Our border is being invaded every single day. Every single day, with thousands and thousands of people, everyone. Thousands and thousands of people every single day. Drugs, human trafficking, that's a human crisis. Why can't they call that a national emergency? These people, they bring these children, women and children across the border, rape them, sell them into sex slavery. You can't even understand it. Dan Crenshaw was in the hearing recently where they had Secretary Nielsen from the Department of Homeland Security. He was questioning her, and he was telling a story about, here's a woman, they brought a woman across the border, sold her into sex slavery. She was trapped as a sex slave, where she was raped 30 times a day. 30 times a day. That's what happens with these people that get sold across our border, and they don't want to call that a national emergency. They don't want to call that's a humanitarian crisis. They want to talk about constantly about children separated at the border, and they want to say how evil and terrible it is and how bad President Trump is, but yet they don't want to tell those stories about a woman who got sold into sex slavery along with many, many other women and children, where they get raped up to 30 times a day. What kind of horrible nightmare is that? Like, that's where we are. That's where we are, and I can't comprehend it. I can't comprehend it. The facts are there. These aren't conspiracy theories. They aren't made up. These are real stories of real people. And the Democrats know it. And they still fight back. So you can't even understand it. It's to a point you can't even understand it. And guess what? I shared a meme on here yesterday that someone sent me, and I was really grateful they sent it to me. And it's in Spanish, and it was saying, hey, there's a caravan leaving at 7 a.m. from Honduras on March 20th, calling people, all unemployed people from Honduras, join us at 7 a.m. on March 20th. We're going to caravan up to the United States and go get some jobs. That's what this said in Spanish. It's organized. It's an organized invasion of our country. It's an organized invasion of our country. And you have the cartels and the coyotes and the cartels, and they've bought buses. They're like the coyote bus lines, taking them up through Mexico. They get into Mexico, they pay these coyotes and to ride on these buses, and they deliver them all the way up from southern Mexico, all the way up to northern Mexico, and drop them off at the U.S. southern border so they can stroll across our border, skip across our border, coming in for jobs, coming in to take American jobs, everyone. Coming in for jobs and free handouts, housing, health care, schooling, clothes, you name it. You name it, food stamps, everything, free handout. Hey, make your way to California. It's sanctuary there. They won't let ICE throw you out there. Go to California. Go find a sanctuary city somewhere in the United States. And you know what? The Democrats are sitting there taking them in at the border with these charitable organizations, taking them in, giving them clothes, getting them cleaned up. Here, let me help you, give you all this stuff. We love you so much. We love you. We're the left. We take care of everybody. We don't take care of Americans. We don't care about American veteran homeless. We don't care about American kids in foster care. We don't care about people sold into sex slavery coming across the border. No, we don't care about that. But we love these immigrants. We love these illegal immigrants. We love them. Come on. You're our Democrat voters. Come on. Free jobs in America. Sanctuary. We'll take care of you. That's who they are. That's who they are. It's who they are. And then we got Then we got Congress helping it out even more. They send billions. Oh my God, billions of dollars to these foreign countries. Billions of dollars, foreign countries. Just sending it every single year. What is it? Was it $54 billion was part of the budget? $54 billion to foreign countries. And then what does that even do? Do we ever get a return on our investment? Let's talk about what is the ROI. What is our return on investment for sending billions of dollars to foreign countries every year? Does it help those poor people? No, they're still freaking poor, everyone. They're still poor. Every single year, America sends billions of dollars, millions and millions and billions of dollars to these foreign countries, And do we get to see these countries better themselves? Do we get to see poor people like the poor people in Honduras and El Salvador and Mexico and Haiti and all these different countries, African nations? Do we get to see these poor people? Do we get to see their lives bettered from our millions and millions and billions of dollars, tax dollars going to them? No. No, it doesn't better their lives. It doesn't. Because their corrupt, horrible governments and their corrupt politicians shove that money in their pockets and use it to pay their friends. So it's a waste of our, it is a gigantic waste. It is a massive waste of our tax dollars going to all these people, going to these foreign countries. But yet, you know what? The Democrats are like, we're taking care of them. Nancy Pelosi, we have to help the children. Help the children. No, Nancy, you're not helping anybody. What you're doing is you're sinking our country. You're sinking our country with illegals. And then you and your Democrat friends and these crappy rhino Republicans that have no spines whatsoever want to take away our guns so that we can be left defenseless and run over with illegals, and our entire system can be completely bankrupted because we can't afford to take care of people anymore. That's the future of this country. That's what they want to happen. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing to our country. And it makes me sick. It makes me sick. But that's what they're doing. And then I want to know what happens. I want to know what happens when we're run over with illegals. And we don't have our Second Amendment right anymore. We don't have our right to bear arms. And we get a whole bunch more people in Congress that like to wear these head wraps on their heads and really like to support Palestine and Hamas and Sharia law. What's going to happen then to America and Americans? Because this is the future that our children are looking at. This is the future that our children or your grandchildren or, you know, their kids, this is the future that we're looking at in America. And I'm done with it. Everybody's done with it. We're not doing this anymore. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I'm going up to DC next week. And if you're a responsible, well-spoken, well-dressed, not going to act like crazy fool and get arrested, join us. We're meeting at the Senate building at 9 a.m. And we're going to go in there and we're going to let our voices be heard. And we're going to do it responsibly. We're going to do it professionally. We are going to articulate everything really well. And we're going to let them know what the American people want. Not the lobbyist. Not big, rich, anti-gun people like Michael Bloomberg from New York. We're going to let them know what everyday Americans want, like me and you. And you know what? This whole thing, it's not good for law enforcement. Law enforcement needs to put their resources and their time towards arresting real criminals, not having to confiscate guns. It's crazy. You know what? And if they want to stop mass shootings, school shootings, stop letting our guns be gun-free zones. Because before that, before Joe Biden turned our schools into gun-free zones, guess what? Principals had guns in their offices. Teachers had guns. And guess what? High school students had guns. Because guns aren't bad. Guns protect people, protect schools. And you know what? Back then, guess what? There were not mass shootings at schools. This is so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy and it's so common sense. But no, the left doesn't have common sense. They have insanity. This is the party that literally wants kids to vote at 16 years old. This is the Democrat Party. Let's let them vote at 16 because their voices need to be heard. But let's not allow them to own a gun until they're 21 years old. Right? I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And this is the same party that has an idiot, a complete idiot, beta male Francis, what is his name? Robert Francis O'Rourke, running for president, and this little wuss of a man wrote a poem when he was 16 years old talking about, what was he talking about? Scrubbing his balls, and talking about some freaking cow, and talking about some ridiculous poem. And he apologized for his stupid poem talking about scrubbing his balls because he was 16 years old and he was immature. But yeah, they want people to vote at 16. Like, really? That's the Democrat Party, everybody. It's amazing. You can't even make it up. You can't even make it up. I don't even know how to explain that. Like, this is who the Democrat Party is. That's what's going on. That's where we are. And then we got the Republicans. Let's talk about the Republicans. You know what? There's some good ones in there. There's some, oh my gosh, I love that Freedom Caucus. I do. There's some great ones in there. Dan Crenshaw, he's like Superman. He's fantastic. Jim Jordan, awesome. There's some really good ones in there. But we got some really bad ones too, and to me, they're no different than Democrats. They're no different. They're paralyzed because they're worried about getting reelected. They're paralyzed because they're worried about what the press may report on them. They're paralyzed because they need money for their campaigns. And so they don't do the right thing. They don't do the right thing. And so it's insanity. It's absolute insanity. And you know, you really wonder, how do these people get elected? Where are all the Americans that really care? Where are they? Why aren't they paying attention? Why can't they see and understand that we're headed towards socialism and it's going to ruin our country? So I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't know where they are. I can't comprehend why they vote for these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? And I just, you know, I love people. I love to talk to people. I have a lot of friends. I have friends that are Democrats. I have friends that hate politics and think I'm crazy. And I have friends that love Trump. And I have friends that are Republicans and they hate Trump. But I love people. I do. I love people. But I just want all of our people to understand and remember how great this country is. And if we don't love America together and love the freedoms that we have, that none of us earned, not one of us earned our freedoms. We got them because we were born in America. Well, I take it back. There may be some of you that came to America and legally migrate or immigrated to America. And for that, I say that's great. But you didn't earn this freedom either. These freedoms came with your citizenship. And these freedoms that I have came with my birth citizenship in America. And if we don't stop this attack on our freedoms, guess what? Future people that are born in America aren't going to have the freedoms that we have. And future people that legally immigrate to America aren't going to have these freedoms that we have today. And who's going to be to blame? Not me. I am not going to let that blame fall on my shoulders. No, I'm not. So that's why I'm fighting back. That's why I'm willing to take some time off, pay for a plane ticket, pay for a hotel and my food and stuff, and go up there and say, no red flag gun laws. No. You people have lost your mind. You're bending to the will of a madman who wrote a 70-page manifesto and killed 50 people over in New Zealand. No. Don't do that. Leave us the hell alone. Leave us alone. Because we have the right to bear arms and it shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. That's what we're going to say. That's what we're doing. So I just want to let you guys know that's what's coming up. That's what's coming up. You're going to hear more about it. You're going to see a ton of it on Monday and Tuesday. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to do it. And I just wanted to let you know and get your support and tell you, call Lindsey Graham's office. Call Marco Rubio's office. Call Susan Collins' office. Call the list. Look up the list, and I'll post it too. For the Senate Judiciary Committee, Call every single one of them, Republican and Democrat, and tell them no to red flag laws on Tuesday the 26th. No, do not pass those laws. Okay? All right, do that. We got to work together. It takes all of us to do it together. All right, you guys, I got to jump off here. I'm out of time. But I'll talk to you soon, and watch for that post on that list of people and their phone numbers, and I'll talk to you soon. This is Marjorie Green.